This is from 1819 News. Shout out to 1819 News. Shout out to them. So, all right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So, Reed Ingram, he said, I don't think that constitutional carry has had a bearing on crime. Right now, this is the permitless carry law. That's what he's talking about, constitutional carry. State Rep Ingram, let's see here, and the mayor's office are at odds over the Alabama gun law. So you just heard me say, well, Chip Hill said that he loves when, you know, representatives in Alabama basically admit when they're wrong and about gun laws and gun violence, and let's fix it. That's what he said. Well, let's get to what Reed said. Reed Ingram, that is. State Rep Reed Ingram of Pike Road, Alabama, took aim at Montgomery Mayor Stephen Reed and other Montgomery leadership, announcing plans to file legislation allowing the state to appoint a police chief if a municipality's crime rate exceeds a certain level. So basically, Mayor Reed, you have failed Montgomery in the last 5 years. You failed Montgomery. The crime is gotten so bad that Mr. Ingram here is proposing that the state have the authority to take over the city police department basically and appoint a chief, right? So Mayor Reed would not have that power. The state would come in, appoint a chief, hire a chief, and oversee the city, how the city is run when it comes to crime. That's how bad. Now, I don't see anything where it says they haven't decided what the threshold, the rate of crime would be as of yet. But let's keep it going. Over the weekend, Montgomery Mayor Stephen Reed's chief of staff, Chip Hill, going back to him, took to social media, asking followers to contact Ingram about a bill that Ingram teased toward the end of 2024 legislative session. Now, this is where we're talking about the whole gun permit issue. Ingram never filed the bill, but according to WSFA, Ingram wanted to address holes in the state's 2022 constitutional carry legislation. The bill would require someone to be 21 to conceal carry. They would also have to pass a hunter safety course or get a permit from the sheriff's office, according to WSFA. Ingram said the bill would allow police to confiscate a firearm until a person can prove they are of legal age to own it. It would also allow police to run a search and make sure the gun isn't stolen. All right, so that's basically kind of like the gist of what was kind of going to be, I guess, addressed right from that carry bill. Um, Now Ingram responded. He says he told 1819 News he didn't know where the out of the blue post from Chip Hill came from, and that he doesn't plan on filing the gun bill in 2025. Instead, he intends to pre-file legislation in the coming weeks to allow the state of Alabama to take control of police departments when the crime rate reaches a certain threshold. Ingram said he asked Governor Kay Ivey to call a special legislative session specifically related to crime since leaders in some Alabama cities don't seem overly concerned about the issue, referring to Montgomery Mayor Stephen Reed. Right? That's definitely who he's talking about. Got to be talking about Mayor Reed and probably Randall Woodfin in Birmingham. He's the mayor of Birmingham, and they are. If you know about Birmingham, it's it's in worse shape than Montgomery, but Montgomery is not that far behind. All right. Let's see here. Ingram said, I don't think that constitutional carry has had a bearing on crime. The problem with crime is that a lot of the leaders in some of these municipalities, these cities, don't take crime serious. Thank you. Thank you. When you've got some of these municipalities in this state that are almost 40% down on law enforcement, and some of your mayors are traveling around, going around to Washington, D.C., and being on board of this and that, and they don't stay or even show up to city council meetings, Mayor Reed, it's hard for them to know what's really going on and to take a priority for public safety. Man, thank you so much. Where my chair at, man? I got you on here. Man, thank you so much for just keeping it real. Keeping it real. When keeping it real goes right. Let's see. According to Ingram, the bill is currently being drafted and will apply to all municipalities. So that's all cities, all towns. All right. If a city surpasses a yet to be determined level of crime, the state would appoint a police chief in that municipality. A city could also lose funding if they refuse to comply with the bill's provisions. Man, I will link this in the description. You guys can check that out. So good to finally see more citizens. Number one, so I mean, it should be we the people, right? We the people should be the loudest individuals and should be the loudest voice when it comes to what's happening in our own cities, in our own states, right? In this country that we call America. Um, but it's also awesome to see our elected officials call out these city leaders for not doing their jobs. Because remember earlier, I said it starts at home. Mommies, daddies, you're supposed to raise your kids to have respect for authority, teach them morals and ethics, right? To value themselves and others. But once they go out into that world, now they're in the city. Now it's the city government's responsibility to make sure that they're doing their job. And being a local government 101, right, is crime prevention. All right, you should be serving and protecting the people of your city. So that's not on us, the citizens. We're not the ones that are coming up with these policies. We're not the ones that are out here arresting the criminals. We're not the ones out here investigating. We're not doing all that. Now, we do play a part when it comes to you see something, say something. All right. Forget all that snitching stuff. We need to have a responsibility for our communities. But the police are the ones that are going to come and they have that authority. They have the show of force to be able to enforce the laws, right? They show up in force and they enforce the laws. That's what they're there for. That's what we pay them for. And the mayor, we elect you to lead the city. And part of leading the city is making sure that crime is at a minimum, making sure that citizens feel safe.